budget-friendly mobile DJ system. What's up, bros? Welcome to the $1,500 DJ setup build. It's finally here. In the last two episodes, you guys saw me sit down at my counter, order a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and then in the following video, we unboxed everything, and today is the moment that you guys have all been waiting for. Today, we are actually going to assemble our $1,500 DJ setup. Everything's all here out of the box, and now we finally get to see what the finished product will look like. As you guys can see, everything fits nicely right here in my little dolly. That's actually something that a lot of you guys recommended in the comment section. A lot of you guys said, hey, you should also get a dolly to carry all that stuff around. I already have a dolly, so there was no need. However, if you guys are interested in the one that I personally use, this is a Rock and Roller R12T. I believe it is. I could be wrong, but I'll link it down in the description of this video. You can tell it's a Rock and Roller by the yellow wheels. And as you guys can see, this small little dolly fits all of our equipment. We have everything here. This box right here holds our Chinese lights. Look at that, made in China. It has 4 LED park cans in there. Next up, we have our speakers. These are the Mackie Thump 12s. We have 2 DJ controllers. We only need 1 for the purposes of this video. During the case build, I did recommend the SB3. In here, we have all our miscellaneous cables, and on top of our cables, we have our Mr. DJ tripods. In here, all the cables that we'll need, as well as our microphones. We got scrims for our Facade. Everything fits on the dolly, by the way, except the Facade. This Facade did not come with a bag, so I'm going to list a bag. It's by Pro X. It's the one that I use to carry my Facade around. Highly recommend it. I'll link it down in the description of this video as well. So let's start assembling all this stuff together. I'll be stopping the time lapse every now and then, so that way I can give you guys a rundown on what's going on and how exactly it is that I am setting this stuff up. So without further ado, let's get started. On your mark, get set, go! Some of you guys recommended that instead of getting a Facade, a cheaper alternative would be to get a scrim. So I went ahead and did that. So for this build, I went ahead and got a scrim for you guys. This is our Facade. This is what it looks like with a scrim. I'll show you guys once I wire everything, the difference between a Facade and between a scrim. I've set up our tripods. I measured them to make sure that the legs are extended equal length, and then I counted holes. This is how I set my tripods up to make sure that they're leveled. I counted 1, 2, 3. 3 holes exposed, 3 holes exposed on that side, and then on top, I mounted our Mackie Thumb. Down to the DJ booth, you can see that we have our DJ SB3 by Pioneer DJ, as well as our Mix 5. Now, the way I traditionally wire my system is I straight up just come out of my mixer, out of my console, out of my controller, whatever you want to call it, and I go right up to my speakers. However, our controller only has RCA out, and that's pretty much it. So this is what step 1 looks like. Let me know what you guys think so far. The scrim doesn't look too bad right now, but that's because we haven't ran any cables. Let's see what it looks like after our cable job is done. Step 2, the wiring is pretty much done, but as you guys can see, we're already starting to look a bit messy, and this is what a lot of DJ setups when I get setup reviews end up looking like. Technically, this is a fully working functional DJ system. Everything is pretty much plugged in, but it's a mess. Look at this thing. Our light is dangling all the way to the ground. Our cables are also dangling. These are also fresh cables, so they still got a bit of coil in them. On the bottom, we're starting to get a mess. of cables. This is our microphone cable, so our desk is starting to get sloppy. On this side we have our Chinese light, and as you guys can see, it's dangling on the ground. It's super loose. Cables from the wall, super messy. Everything's plugged in and it's ready to go, but it's messy. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very professional. That's where this comes in. Gaff tape. Gaff tape can really transform the look, the feel, the professionalism of a DJ setup. So we're gonna take some gaff and we're gonna do a couple of things with it. We're gonna tape up our cables back here. We're also going to attach some tape around here. We're gonna undo our clamp and then we're gonna replace it up here so that our light is lined up with our speaker. Tape will make it thicker so the clamp can grab onto something, and this way our light will stay flush with our speakers. And as you guys can see, you're already starting to see some of the downfalls with the scrim, the fact that you can see underneath the table. Now I can tuck this in a little bit deeper, but I'm still plugging stuff in, and then guys get lazy and they don't push that in. It does look pretty clean when you do have it pushed in, but it could be better. So let's start working on our tape. Mind my mess, we're making progress, as you guys can see. So now our lights look much better. I've also placed the lights on the bottom. As you guys can see, this is what it looks like when you have lights on scrim. And this is what it looks like when you also don't have DMX. So as you guys can see, these are one colors. That one's not even on. This one's on. It's a different color than that one. This looks sloppy and unprofessional. That's where DMX cables come in. So the way you do this is you have a master light. For the purposes of this video, this will be my master light. This will either be set to sound active or auto or a specific color. I'm gonna come out of this one, DMX out, and I'm gonna run a cable. As you guys can see, I'm coming out of that DMX. Power is up top. I'm running a cable down here, throwing it underneath the tripod, underneath our table scrim, and then up to our next light. Now if we want a daisy chain, if we want to continue our chain, we're gonna come out of here down to these ones right here. Now I only did this way to show you. The ideal way to do this would be to come out of this one into that one, out of that one into this one, and out of that one up to this one. So now how do we get this one on? We're gonna go back here and we're gonna look for where it says slave. I think I passed it already. Boom, slave. And now this one is the same as that one. Let's take it up a notch a little bit. Let's put this one to sound active. So let's take it up a notch though and set this one, our master, into sound. So let's go ahead and find sound. These are pretty good lights. I'm actually pretty impressed. So now they're set to sound. So now as you guys can see, I'm sorry if it's blowing out my camera, but trust me, they are the same color right now. So now if I make some noise, yo, whoop whoop, as you guys can see, they are now completely in sync. Whoop whoop, you guys can see that they are in sync. But now we have a cable mess. We have a cable nightmare. I told you guys how in handy these ones come in so that I can just place this here. It is dangling a little bit. Unfortunately, these Chinese lights, they don't give you much slack and the cable is connected, so we can't do anything about that. So that's gonna remain here. We're gonna tape this up around here, but we also gotta tape this up down to the ground to clean this mess up. Now guys, I need you guys to take a moment and appreciate how clean our DJ setup looks like. And this is pretty much on a budget. We're pretty much all set here besides a couple of things. So as you guys can see, now our lights are fully DMX. So now they are all in sync, looking way more professional. Now additionally, if you don't want to DMX your lights so that you have a nice concise looking setup, what you can do is you can go behind the light and set them to the individual color. So if you want to set that one to white, just look for the color that's white on there, white on there, and white on there, and white on there. Additionally, you can use the tools provided. These lights did come with remotes. These lights are actually pretty impressive. I actually really like them. So if I use my remote here, I can trigger red, I can trigger green, I can trigger blue, I can trigger purple, yellow, and what is that, cyan. As you guys can see, I can do it all off the remote. Everything is totally in sync, as you guys can see here. Now let's take a look at our cable work. See how nice this is? It's super easy, takes a second. As you guys can see, I took some gaff tape and I rolled up my cable. You want to leave a little bit of slack here on the back so that you can tilt these around. Then grab it with your hand and take a piece of tape and clamp it. One on the top, one in the middle, and then one on the bottom. Same for this side. Now for the cables underneath our table, there's really nothing we can do except tuck them in so that the scrim kind of hides them, but as you guys can see, it doesn't do a very good job. Same thing here on the side. There's nothing really you can do about these cables here. Now if you had your speakers spread out a little bit more, obviously I don't have any more space. I'm in my office here. You could tape on the ground and go all the way to the side. Now taping, one of my favorite things. I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to taping. Here's how I tape. Let's start from the outlet. So I mentioned that you guys should always have some of these in case you don't have a 3-prong outlet. This one is a 3-prong outlet. Also a little pro tip, if you guys see that little dash there, it is a 20 amp. So you're good. This will hold a lot of stuff. Right now, one of these is pretty much going to hold our entire system. That includes both speakers and our lights. This will cover everything. It's only 2 speakers and 4 lights, and our lights don't suck up too much power. If your outlet doesn't look like this, it does give off less power. Additionally, here's another thing that you can get. This is a lay flat. They only cost about $5, and what these essentially does is it allows you to tape your cable to the wall. So we're gonna take some gaff tape here. We're gonna place it here. It's hard to do it with one hand, but you guys get it. And now our power ain't going nowhere. No photographer is gonna try to touch that. Now these are very short, only about 6 inches. And our extension cord that goes into our surge protector, or Amazon surge protector. I also like to tape this as well, just to be sure. Better safe than sorry. At the end of the night when you're cleaning up, you can honestly just leave these 2 attached and just have this be one cable. Now the way we tape, guys, tape. Very important. We take a piece of gaff tape, we lay it across, and then we do the same every 1 to 2 feet. After you lay the vertical ones, one there, one here, now you're gonna lay the horizontal one. I do 2 rows, so I run one horizontally, and then I run the other one horizontally. Now we take an additional strip, and now we cover the horizontal and the vertical one like so here. So there's 2 lines of tape, 2 vertical and 2 horizontal. If you're super OCD like me, just put your feet on the tape. And then what I like to do is I just like to rip it like so. This will get rid of the train track look. Now on our tripod, look at how clean this looks. We have our power strip extender for our extension cords. I told you to get these. We bought 2 of these, one on each side, so the other side mirrors this side exactly. Now we have power for our speaker and power for our lights, and we also have an additional outlet here just in case. Ran these straight down. You could, like I said, tape if you have more distance between your table and your speakers, but I don't have that luxury today, so this will manage. And then you could tape, same thing as we did here, going all the way to underneath the table. That would actually look a little bit cleaner if you did that. Then here you guys see some slack there on the ground. That's just the slack for our microphone, which should be working. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Wow, it's crystal clear. That sounds very good. What do you guys think? Can you guys hear it very well? Ooh, that sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, your brand new Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Ooh. So don't mind that. That slack is just for our microphone. Now, additionally, if you want to take this a step forward, you could get a desktop boom arm for your microphone. They do sell mini boom arms. Now, this is also a great setup for streaming. Like, you have your camera up there, and then you have your DJ console here. Connections for our controller are pretty basic. We have RCA out of our controller into our mixer. I ran the slack off to the side, as you guys can see there, and then I run it back up. Then we're coming out of here with 1/4 inch outputs like these right here. And we're going up to our speaker. Do leave some slack between your tape drops. Same goes for power. The reason we do this is because we don't want to strain our cables, and if anybody nips it, if you have it too tight, chances are it's going to get unplugged. So we do leave a little bit of slack. Now, this isn't half bad. This is about a $1,300 setup. We have 2 speakers. We have 4 lights. Everything is listed down below. This looks great. Now that we officially have our sound running, everything's pretty much good to go. This is exactly what it would look like if you guys were using Scrim. Final piece of the puzzle is to add our facade. What the facade is really going to do is it's going to take it to the next level. It's going to clean up a bit of the mess that we have here on the sides, and it's also going to make just everything look a little bit more streamlined, and it's only an extra $100 to add the facade. So let's go ahead and scrim up our facade and see what that looks like, and then you guys in the comment section, let me know what you guys like better, whether you like the facade on or off. And here you guys have it, a $1,500 DJ system. Wow, look at it. It looks pretty clean in my opinion. Our facade, squeaky clean. We have our lights, they're all DMX, so we can do different colors. Let's go ahead and do a blue there. Look at how concise, how pretty that looks. We of course have our DDJ SB3. We got the Serato running. Listen to the sound. That don't sound like a cheapy DJ system to me. So as you guys can see, you don't need a lot of money to put together a decent, clean looking mobile DJ system. This was all under 1,500 bucks. I repeat, it was all under 1,500 bucks. And like I told you guys, there's a lot of ways you can save money if you want. You can get cheaper lights, or you could forgo the lights altogether. Biggest things you should always worry about is your controller, computer, and speakers. Those are the main things. Some things you could do to clean things up. Get yourself the proper cables you need to wire everything. Get yourself cables that are nice and length so that you can tape up your cables like we did here. Look at how clean this is. We could have actually taped that up and made it look even nicer, but as you guys can see, it all blends in. There's no straggling cables. We understand that there's a cable that has to go there through the side. No problem. Buy yourself the tools that you need. Gaff tape, adapters, power extenders, so you can do your job properly. It's not that expensive. There's a bunch of different tools that you can get. Everything is listed down in the description of this video, including this microphone. Look at how clean this microphone sounds. Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2 check, testing. Well, it's probably not the best system out there. This is a system that you can be proud of, and it's a system that's not all too expensive. Today, Sunday, is the day we are deciding the winner of our SB3 as well as the Pioneer DJ Q1 headphones. We will be deciding the winner today at midnight. You still have time to enter, but not much time, so head on over to my Instagram as well as Canal Sound and Light. Be sure to follow both of us as well as be subscribed to our YouTube channel to enter. Check my story so that you can know how you can win. Thank you, bro, so much for joining me on this journey. Please hit that like button before you leave. Be sure to subscribe and be sure to turn on that bell so that you can be notified next time we do another mobile DJ setup build. Let me know what DJ system you'd like me to build next down in the comments below. Signing off, DJ Bar. Stay awesome, bros. Peace.